Welcome to the Zachrilege Cast podcast YouTube video interview program that features me talking to some of the best and brightest in the atheist slash secular slash awesome community. This is episode 240. I recorded this interview, gosh, the days are just blending together, on January 27th, 2021. Thanks to my previous guests, Mandisa Thomas of the Black Non-Believers. Even though their conference is over, please check them out and please support your local atheist group. This week, well, I didn't have a show last week, so I wanted to have a show the week of my birthday. I didn't want to have one on the night of my birthday, but I brought in my friends Deborah and Jeanne. Haven't talked to them in a while, only kind of ignored their questions in the chat room for the episodes. I know we've all had quite the year, so it was good to kind of hang out and talk about issues of note and to see that everybody is doing, pretty well. So yeah, we obviously are talking about the political system and, whatever else comes off the tip of our tongues, because that's how we kind of do it. So check it out, and, let's start the conversation.
Here's the thing. The alcohol you drink is who you want to be. When you order a Long Island iced tea, you're telling the world, I'm going to suck your dick, but then I'm going to puke all over it afterwards.
I actually something to pour.
Welcome to the Zachrilege Cast.
Podcast.
It's now a show all about Zachrilege and his cats. So we've crunched the numbers, and there's no way that atheism is as much interest in his cat chasing his tail. So I'm sorry, we're rebranding the show. I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm still here. We're going to play a game with some topics, decide whether we want to talk about them or not. Some of them may be legal, some may not. Jeanne in Vermont, Deborah down the road from Mar-a-Lago. Welcome back.
Oh, no, don't say that. Ugh, all the old people go there.
Did anyone go, welcome back?
We don't want him. We really want New York to take him back.
Oh, New
I don't
York
think
has, New York has plans for Trump.
It's got to be like Aaron Burr, and he's going to end up going to Mexico or some other country because,
Wait,
no
Aaron-
one's... Yeah.
Okay,
No.
but doesn't Eric Trump honestly look like the child that was the one that ate paste in grammar school? I mean, come on. The boy ate paste as a child. He had to have.
It's like
Is it
sniffing.
Trump?
It's like sniffing glue.
Is it Trump Jr. the one who always looks like he's high on coke? Like they made a joke about the Trump Diet Coke button. Like Trump Jr. has the Coke button, and his wife
Trump-
too, because she was nuts. But it's like, hey, being nuts is good. It's the American way.
Yeah, Trump Jr. just looks like he's coming off a coke bender. I mean, he's probably not, but he just has that look.
Yeah.
Say probably. And if someone, for some reason,
But,
didn't
I don't-
see,
But again, you have to be reasonable and say, I don't like his children. Any of them. So it's hard for me to say anything nice about them.
yeah, there was a Daily Show thing I saw, and it was all about Kushner and Ivanka and all the things they didn't do while they were in power. And it's like, you listen to Ivanka talk for like a minute and you go, she's not very smart either. It's like, none of them
No.
could hold a conversation, but somehow they got to be in power, and despite everything. But I wanted to honor the great state of Oklahoma, where they have $2 million of hydro, however you pronounce it, and they're trying to pawn it off, to the lowest denominator. So the only brewery I know in the state, Prairie, has bourbon barrel-aged weekend and regular weekend. Since I'm unemployed, it is the weekend all the time. And so this was the thing I noticed. So usually when you get the regular and the bourbon barrel, you're like, it's the same, but the regular is a stout with coconut, cocoa nibs, and marshmallow. I know you guys are surprised that I'm drinking such a beer.
I can handle the marshmallow, I think.
Oh no, we lost her. No!
Come back, Deborah.
No! Oh gosh.
Okay.
And then the other one
so-
cocoa nibs, toasted coconut, marshmallow flavor, vanilla, and caramel color. I don't know. That's weird.
Wait. So which one was the last one? Is that the regular weekend? Or was that the special weekend?
He's back.
I'm back. Yay!
Yeah, the bourbon barrel had more things. It said marshmallow flavor, which I thought was funny. It's like the other one's regular marshmallow, but I didn't get it all in the glass. See, that's what happens when you drink Bud Light. Your internet stops working. No jokes. All right, fine.
Actually, no, okay. So somebody actually gave me this back when I was brewing beer on a regular basis. Like, here's a recipe for Budweiser. Take a bale of hay and a 5-gallon pot of boiling water. Pour it through the hay, strain out all the chunky bits, and throw in 2 Alka-Seltzer, and you've got Budweiser. Which is
that's fair.
They do actually doing Budweiser a disservice because it's a little more consistent than a bale of hay. But
that's fair. I would accept that substitution.
I just love how Budweiser is considered such like this Americana brew, and it's a Belgian company. They do brew it in nearby Cartersville, Georgia, so it's local. But I think they're gonna be abandoning their regular beer, and everybody's just going for seltzer because I think that's the market right now. Everybody's going insane for the seltzer, and I'm like, I don't like the beer that I can see through, or it's just wrong.
No, go ahead, Deborah.
I was going to say, if I weren't healing, I've got bourbon. I mean, I have something much tastier than that drug, but
heal first.
Got to do what you got to do.
Heal first.
So can you talk about like the surgery you had and how it's going and like where you are in the recovery?
Well, I had eye surgery, as you can tell by all the bruising that's still there, and to try to pick up a little bit of peripheral vision, and I think it went well, and it'll still take another couple weeks to heal.
And she's gone again.
I mean, at least the good news is that she was able to bounce back on before. Yeah, there's like just a lot of background noise on her end.
Oh, it's probably like her air conditioning because she.
Oh yeah.
Do you have your air conditioning on? Do you live in Florida?
Good question. It might be. I don't know if it's on now. I don't know. You want me to go check?
We hear
next time you bounce out. Yeah.
Airflow. Yeah. Okay. Next time. In about 2 minutes.
Okay.
But.
Wait. So I just heard from a coworker that Keurig is moving all of their non-production personnel to either Texas or Massachusetts, which means that there are a lot of people in Vermont that now have until April to go either find another job or move. In COVID, great.
Oh Lord, that Texas. That's.
Well, most people would probably choose Massachusetts.
Hey, I'm sorry. Look, I live in Florida. I'm not throwing any stones at anyone. I mean, I know. Look at Georgia, and I'm waiting for Georgia to just order the extra, large economy-sized saws and just start sawing off Florida at the very base of Georgia and say, we don't want to be associated with you anymore. I mean,
you live right next to Florida, man.
Mad props to Georgia. They saved this year. God bless them.
Nah, probably.
Well, we'll see. We may talk about this, but it's like, how come every time the Democrats are in power, they're like, hey, Republicans, can we do anything? And Republicans are like,
no,
1/3 of the whole country. They're like, we're fucking doing everything and we don't care. And we're going to make up rules. And then a year later, we're going to change the rules. And the Democrats are like, please, sir. I still don't understand the whole filibuster issue, but yeah, it's rough.
Strong opinions on this. We didn't learn our lesson in 2008 with Obama. We didn't learn.
Yeah, there was an opportunity not taking advantage of.
And everyone wanted to do all the let's have unity and reach across the aisle. And dear Lord, once Paul Ryan got in there as Speaker of the House, and then, of course, Mitch McConnell, they told all the Democrats, y'all can go take a hike now. We're running this show. So my opinion is to hell with the Republicans. We have a Democratic agenda. We have We actually have a Democratic agenda. I mean, we had a platform. They did not. We have an agenda. Just do what you got to do. I don't care how many bodies you got to run over. I really don't care. I'm tired of trying to be cooperative with people that
are dicks.
To put it nicely, yeah, to people that are dicks. I'm tired of trying to be cooperative with those people.
They want their opponents.
They don't. I mean, it would be fine if they said a thing and meant it. I mean, I'm still waiting for Paul Ryan's. Remember, he was the policy wonk and he was going to figure this stuff out. I'm still waiting for his damn healthcare plan. I never saw it. He went back to Janesville, Wisconsin. Then Trump was like, no, we're going to do repeal and replace, and it'll be quickly and easily. We never saw his healthcare plan.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that.
So the hell with these people. To hell with them all.
Oh, okay. So speaking of which, and this is one of the things on my list. Leahy, Senator Patrick Leahy, who will be in charge of the impeachment hearings. And as a Vermonter, I would like to apologize and say he is a very smart man. He's an excellent legislator, and he old man mumbles at the best of times. So having him behind a mask and in a microphone, this is not going to be scintillating court drama on his part. I'm sorry.
Understanding, and y'all have to tell me if I'm wrong here, because the question was raised, well, why is Senator Leahy doing it and not John Roberts? And I'm told that because it's not a sitting president, Roberts is not required, but they gave him the opportunity, and he said, I'll take a pass. So that's what I believe I read. And if anyone's listening and they're like, Deborah, you're wrong, please let me know, because
no, I'm fairly certain that that's what I heard as well. And as the longest, I was going to say oldest member, but he is probably the oldest member, but he's the longest term sitting Senate member.
Plus, I really need people other than Jeannie to tell me that I'm wrong. I mean, that helps. I'd like to.
Oh, really? Is that just a
increase
constant
that
thing?
on him? Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering because there was, I can't remember which senator was like, why are we? It might have been Rubio. Was like, why are we doing a private? Now all of a sudden Trump's a private citizen. When this got delayed because of McConnell, because of Republicans. And they were like, well, we've never done this before. And it's like, actually, we have impeached, I think it was a judge who was after their term.
Yes.
This has happened in our history. It just hadn't happened with any presidents. We've had 4 impeachments of presidents and 2 are one guy. So, yeah, nice work.
It's very much like somebody works for a company and they embezzle lots of money and then they quit that company and they walk away and say, you can't come after me. I quit. It's like, well, yeah, but dude, you still did bad things, and this is the same thing. And I go into this knowing that there aren't enough votes to pull it off, and I admit it needed to be done. It needed to be done. It needed from an aspect of good governance. People needed to see that this stuff is wrong. And if we cannot convince if we cannot convince 17 Republicans of that, so be it. At least we gave it a try.
Well,
yeah, I think we need to make the Republicans they need to have it written down in bold letters. Okay, you had a chance to impeach this guy. Oh, we lost her again. See?
Yeah, it's okay. Maybe she'll fix the air conditioning.
And they didn't. And we want to put the whole thing with $2,000 payments up and have the Republicans be against it. And then in 2 years actually say, we tried to do this and they stopped us. And they can, lie and we lost you again, Deborah. But you know what? You're always with us in spirit.
I know.
And you brought the air conditioning back.
One of these times I'm going to disappear and I'll actually have fallen over dead and no one will know. And I don't even have a cat to come eat my eyeballs out. I mean, come on. That's a waste of, good nutrition.
Wasn't the daily Marco visit tomorrow morning? Would they notice?
Oh, the Marcos are off on Thursday. That's their day off. I have to fend for myself on Thursdays.
No peeled grapes and fanning palm leaves.
I know.
Right, they peel grapes. Orange segment too. They get all the exterior pithy stuff off. So yeah, orange segment too.
Oh wait, speaking of
They
which,
have to be pre-trained.
I am super excited that I really, really, really hope that legislation around DACA moves forward, so that this is not just like another one more flip-floppy thing. That immigration needs to be stabilized legally.
Well, didn't Biden do a executive order and then a judge said no to, was it 100 days of stopping deportations? I think that's one of the things I saw. It's just hard.
Well,
you think can't Biden just sign one thing and go, everything Trump did takes these backsies, and I don't need to show you that I can sign my name like I'm a big boy on everything.
Stamp.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, it would just be easier if he could just do it like a checkbox and call it good.
Yeah, it's kind of what Trump did in his 4 years, was just anything Obama did, let me undo it.
It's like Gina, it's like your camera is blinking at you. You blink and then you're back. It's
okay.
kind of like Genie would.
It's your air conditioning.
Yeah. Oh, that's copyright. Can't do that.
Not for longer than
We'll get strikes for that before the guy who was actually in the Capitol building, doing videos, would get strikes. That's what I hear. Although I've never been banned from Facebook and I've never been kicked off Twitter or anything, I feel like I'm missing out, because it seems like half the people I follow on Facebook are like, I just got kicked off for a month for sending a picture of my dog. And okay.
I will admit that since it is Wednesday, after approximately 6:30, I start compulsively checking my phone to see if all the president's lawyers has dropped yet. Impatient for that little bit of hit of Ken White. Just keep me going. And
and now that you know that he doesn't wear pants all the time, it's even more exciting, right?
Who doesn't love Pope Hat? And I don't care whether he's got pants on or not.
Yes, you do.
We are not doing a pants check-in here, are we?
No, that'd be bad.
I hope not.
Pajama pants. I mean, I did wear my pajama pants to go out and pick up groceries that were delivered into my car. So
I'm sure the neighbors appreciated that.
yeah.
But so Pope Hat came up 15 minutes before we logged on, so I got to hear some of it. And one of the things he was discussing was the fact that the court system in DC, it's not currently staffed to handle a massive influx of federal defendants stemming from the January 6th attack on the Capitol. So that it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. And I hate to think that people who did wrong things are going to walk away because we don't have the human power to conduct a trial.
Yeah, there needs to be special. I mean, that was the woman who stole Pelosi's laptop, got sent home, and every single person who raided the Capitol apparently lives with their mom in the basement. That's not a coincidence.
Shocker.
There, is it?
Yeah, don't tell the gamers that. They're just the gamers are being oh God, you're giving us all a bad name.
A little worried, man. I've been unemployed for 3 weeks. I'm is this what I'm going to end up doing? I'm going to wear face paint.
And moose horns and.
Because I didn't even think about it when I went to a football game, because I'm an idiot, and I was wearing. So they have these hats. They're basically on the Tennessee Titan mascot, which is a raccoon, and it looks like that headdress the guy wore into the Capitol. I'm like, shit, are people going to think that I'm that guy? And I was really worried that there'd be a lot of Trump supporters there. And it was
I don't know. Was your face painted red, white, and blue?
No, I didn't do the face paint. I've only done that a couple of times, and Yeah, people were wearing masks, which was good. I mean, inside they weren't, which is strange because that's actually more dangerous. But now Dr. Fauci is saying, 2 masks. I'm like, okay, why not? He says wrap it up, I wrap it up, right?
Wrap
One
your
would hope.
face.
Oh my god, I am so happy with how boring the White House press briefings have been, and I've missed Dr. Fauci so much.
Yeah, he
It's
gets
so good
the
to have
kind
him.
of.
It's good to have him back.
It's probably good to have like a continuation, like someone who was there for both, who will actually tell us what's happening and not, because I don't know what all these people are going to do for a living. I think they're all starting that new Trump like shadow government thing he's got going on. Although I'm really wondering how they're getting paid. He's probably funneled, before he left, he went to Fort Knox and dug up all their gold. I don't
Well,
know.
Giuliani's not
And
getting
everybody's like,
paid.
oh, well, he did it when he was president, so it doesn't count. Like the Supreme Court was like, emoluments? What are those? Moot. We're on. Move on.
That was really disappointing.
Biden should just create a golf club. Why not?
I thought that Crew put together some really solid lawsuits, and I was very disappointed with the Supreme Court's decision to say, well, he's out, it's moot now, so have a nice day.
It's like, cool. That was then. Yeah, sure, I committed murder, but that was like 10 minutes ago, so it's past, it's over. Don't we want to be united and move on? Is that right?
But actually, that's another somewhat not scary thing, but distressing thing to think about. If you look at the Trump administration and you look at all the nonsense that they've done, all right, all of it, everything from things that are not legally permissible to the fact that Trump is shooting out tweets at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. It's like, you're an old man. What are you doing up at that time? Do you have bathroom issues? You're sitting there on the toilet tweeting at us, because he probably was. But when you look at all the mental headspace that we've been occupying over the last 4 years, when you look at when you look at the people who had to read and analyze and come to an understanding and a sort of what the hell do we do now with this mess? It's like, that's it's a waste of people's time, because I'm glad it was done, but geez, that's all emotional and mental energy that could have gone into something better, I mean, if people like Trump wind up sucking up, they just suck all the oxygen out of the room, and they put all the attention on themselves, and everything is about them, and you have people who might have been doing something good, and for good in a social sense, I mean, and they wind up having to keep walking around scooped up dog poop. It makes me very frustrated. I'm a very frustrated woman right now. Can you tell?
That's because you don't have bourbon.
Probably.
Yeah, exactly.
This is true. But I am convinced this whole there's a whole after 4 years of being in having an abusive relationship with having this president have an abusive relationship with half the country. I don't know how you get. It's hard to get past this.
No, it's not even half the country. It's the whole country. Just half of.
It's the whole country. Just half of them don't know. That's a really good point. Because I wake up in the morning and I over the past 4 years I've become a news adrenaline junkie, and it's like I wake up, I look at my phone, and I go, okay, what the hell outrage happened while I was sleeping? And now I wake up and I'm like, oh, I guess while I was sleeping, maybe Biden was sleeping too, because there's no news since last night. It's I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah, I'm worried about the whole economy, like the Adderall delivery going to the White House. Like, where are they doing now? And how do you deal with the billing for that?
Administrations turn over all the time, and these people will go to either law offices, think tanks, newsrooms.
Jail.
We can only hope.
Well, I was wondering, like, sometimes you see news and you think, well, how does this affect people I know? And I was wondering, when we found out that Sarah Huckabee Sanders was running for governor of Arkansas, was Heath Enright happy or sad that he would have to continue doing the impersonation on the shows? Just, it's like you have to stay in government because what else? Like, what other skills do you have? Like, all you're known for is lying to Americans. She was only in the job for like a year and a half, but I feel like she's much more well known than Spicer, and then whatever Barbie finished the job and never answered it. I will never lie to you, and then she never said anything true for the next 2 years. It was good times.
Yeah,
but then she's working
Arkansas is delightful when you consider that they ranked 40th in education and 50th in voting. So clearly, engaged public there.
Clearly. Is it Arkansas that says they're not Florida, or vice versa? I know, sorry. It's not a nice thing to say in Georgia. We've only recently become semi-coherent. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we do have a governor race in a couple years. I hope that'll be interesting.
Jeanne melted.
Uh-oh. So is that?
I think
she's still there. Is it?
Melted. Is she there?
LSD? What's happening in Florida? Is there some meds involved? Just checking. Like, am I still here? Check.
You're still there. There's Jeanne. There she is.
As far as I know, I'm here. I haven't gone anywhere.
Okay, well, your face was not there. It was momentarily not there.
Well, speaking of like news, what will the New York Times do if they can't promote like Nazis? Because like every 2 days they have this Nazi is let's do this glorious thing about how they're misunderstood, and they're still like no one cares about Biden supporters because I'd say they're boring. They are boring, but that's supposed to be good, right?
Actually, I have a larger worry, and that is one of the things that Trump being in office did do is it made some people more aware that they really need to pony up and support media, good media, print media, or if you're reading on the internet media. But
yeah, good media.
I subscribe to the New York Times, I subscribe to the Washington Post, and then I have some other newspapers that I kind of rotate through, on and off. But there's this feeling of, well, things are kind of calm, and I could certainly cut that subscription, and that would save me a few bucks, and that'd be nice. And I feel like if I do that, then
they go
I'm
away.
making us vulnerable as a country. And so it's a challenging time for reporting in America. And I think it's important that we stay on top of what's going on. And it would be easy to be lulled into this sense of, I'll just sort of see what, the Daily Beast says, and that's good enough. It's not good enough. We need reporting.
Yeah,
anyway,
people can't give up, and it's the media's like obsession with Trump, and like Trump was great for them. Trump made a bunch of people a bunch of money.
Yes, he did.
But it's like, can we just have an actual nuanced discussion of some legislation, or why can't we get the $2,000 checks, and now it's $1,400, and now it's maybe nothing. So that's not good. But just things that could help people, because
I'd
still
settle for healthcare.
Now is the time to push. It's like everybody needs it.
I want healthcare. I really want healthcare. Give me healthcare.
Yeah, you're old. You're almost there.
Shush.
But we have to
Just
We have
shush.
to make this somewhat local. So the big internet thing on Inauguration Day was Bernie Sanders and his freaking mittens.
Oh God, I
And
love that.
how that's okay, it's cool, the internet went for it, but it also, they said it raised 1.8 million for charities in Vermont. He's selling sweatshirts and shirts with him, the picture of him with the mittens, and it's
just
sold
licensed
out.
it a couple of days ago. He just licensed go ahead and use my meme. It's fine.
It's when the guy who discovered what was it, the cure for polio, he was like, it's free, I'm giving this away. And Bernie, that's his gift to America, is the picture of him in the mittens. He's just giving it to America. He's trying to, despite all the Democratic Party may have done or not done for him over the past 8 years, he's like, go ahead, guys. It would be nice for him to pass the torch. Can you pass the torch? We have all these crazy 45-year-olds in Congress on the Republican side, and they're some of them are women. Can we find some younger people to pass Bernie's message? Because no more 78-year-olds. We're done. This is it. This is our last 78-year-old. Our only.
And what is with all the really nutty far-right women in Congress? Why is that happening?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're the antithesis to the squad. And then it's oh, she had a bar called Guns. And yeah, and then she was arrested a bunch of times. And then that woman in Georgia, I'm wait, is she just like that crazy woman in Wisconsin who would just go to campuses and harass college students? And then she ran for House and she won, Marjorie Greene. And she's like, yeah, kill Democrats. Cool. I'm well, how many Democrats are saying kill Republicans? None? We don't have any of those? And they have, and we're oh, it's just kids having fun. She's 47. When she was 45, though, but she was in her youthful phase. And that doesn't count. It is insane what we're just pushing off. By the way, I just turned 47, just to let you know.
What was it like in Georgia leading up to the runoff election?
It was crazy. I visited my in-laws in Chattanooga, and it was all TV ads were for the election. I'm I don't think that many people in your footprint can even vote. They spent so much money, and it was so crazy, and the ads were so dumb. The Kelly Loeffler Purdue ones were radical liberals. I'm you mean they want health care? I mean, I met John Ossoff in person when he was running for the was it the House seat that he weirdly passed on, and then all of a sudden he became a senator at 35. I don't know how much substance he has, but I did listening to him talk. And as much as I'm do we need a reverend in our office? First black senator from Georgia. Okay, we'll take that. So yeah, it was kind of crazy, and the fact that tire fire versus rainbows, and rainbows won by 2% or 0.2%. Okay, but hey, Georgia, turn it around, which is a sign that there might be more. These red states are not as 100% red as you think, and all those counties that they credit on the Republican side are usually have 4 people in them, and they don't know what's happening.
But it's kind of the same thing. Kind of goes the other direction too. Vermont's a very blue state on paper. Except we have a Republican governor that we just reelected because he's actually pretty fucking awesome. And we also had a bus full of people that were down for the insurrection. Hey, so let's get 40 of us together and go join the crowd. They didn't, I don't think broke into anything, but yeah, they're.
You just had a bus. I mean, I'm sure there were a few from Georgia. Because there were all those.
No, I mean from Vermont. Vermont people went down to Trump rules. Yeah, we're not.
I mean, you got to see the sites. You got to have a Republican kind of show you where. Okay, so this is where this person is, and this person is. I mean, I wonder if that's ever going to come to light. Do you think anybody on the Republican side is going to lose their job because of the Capitol thing?
Sadly, no.
Josh Hawley. Mr.
No.
I'm being
No.
muzzled, yet I'm on every show possible. God, what an asshole.
If I could pick one, that would be it.
It's like, how many of these senators and congressmen aren't even like, he's from Virginia. Like, how is he on the salt of the earth? Did he go to Harvard too? Because I know Cruz did. Wasn't Cruz
Josh
in the
Hawley?
same? Yeah.
I thought he went to.
He went to
Yale or Stanford.
It was definitely an Ivy League.
It was Yale or Stanford, I think. I don't think it was Harvard, but I honestly am guessing.
I really don't know. Like, I feel like the road could go either way. You lean into this, and it helps you become president in 4 years, or you're going to be totally irrelevant in 2 years. I do not have any idea what's going to happen. It's just going to be crazier as we go.
I know. I'm so afraid of that. I don't.
Can I sidetrack the conversation just for the last couple of minutes?
Yes.
Because I think that we could probably run on this one for a little bit. Maybe not. This might be a 2-minute conversation. So I was on a phone call earlier, and I got a call, and the caller ID was survey. So, pop question for anybody who's either here in the room right now or listening is, 1, do you pick the phone call? And 2, do you take the survey? Like what is your gut instinct on that? And then 2, do you try to figure out as you're taking the quiz who you're answering these questions for?
Did you answer the questions?
I
did. Me.
I cut the call short, and I was just like, "Oh, survey's calling. I'm going to take the survey." Oh yeah.
Well, sadly, in my current position now that I'm unemployed, like any phone call I get from any number, I take because it could be a recruiter, and most of the time it's, "Hey, do you want to extend your car warranty for your 20-year-old car?" Sure. That tends to happen. But I don't know. I usually.
Oh yeah, this is your last chance. We've been trying to reach you for fucking ever.
I know. Like, my car warranty expired.
It's always your last chance. It's always your last chance.
Oh, I kept getting texts from people telling me that now is the last time to register for concealed carry in Vermont. I'm like,
Ooh.
We don't have concealed carry. We have open carry laws here. Which, okay, so that one's just fucking frightening. But also, I don't need people in Texas or with the Texas area code texting me to tell me that now's my last chance. And it was boom, 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 days.
There's actually a town, it's just north of where I am, and everybody has to have a gun, and they have to be holstered and out in the open. And I know some people want to
Wait,
move
everybody
there.
Has to.
It's like
Where
a local
is this?
law. It's just north of Atlanta. I mean, Cobb County, which is just north of the city, is pretty right wing.
Bees or cop with peas?
With bees. This is where our
Cobb County
very
doesn't sound safe.
It's where our very politically correct Atlanta Braves moved their team because they gave them a bunch of money.
The Atlanta what?
Braves.
Mm-hmm.
Barves.
Well, if I had a weapon on me, it would be concealed from me. So.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. There was a time when I was like, "Oh, gun."
I can't even find my phone, and it rings. I would be wondering.
You can't find your Bud Light. I mean, come on.
I can't find my gun. Where's my Glock? Damn it! Where'd it go?
Mm-hmm.
No, that'd be very bad.
Wait, so what do you guys do with survey calls? I mean, you pick up any call, Zach. Do you actually, when you find out it's a survey, do you take the survey? Or do you just say,
probably not? Did they say what it was about? I mean, it could be.
Well, no, they can't. But
once they start telling you about it, you know what it is, right?
Well, I've never had a survey call.
In the last, Vermont sounds awesome.
Let me rephrase, not some ever, but in the last
6 months, year.
No, I was going to say, I'm trying to think how long I've had this phone number. So 5-6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've never had one.
Well,
I get a lot of people calling to say that my car warranty is going to expire, and
And it's been longer
I'm
than
like-
5 or 6 years since you've had a car.
I'm like, hey, I have a car. I didn't know. I didn't see that either. Wow. Lucky me.
Yeah, it's like getting my place I bought my car, like, hey, you need to get an oil change. I'm like, yeah, if I'd driven more than 400 miles in the past 6 months, sure, I probably would need an oil change, you know?
Well, you probably need to start it this week. You know, just like once a week.
Well, I do start it so I can go to the liquor store. I mean, come on.
Okay, so once a week you drive it for like 5 minutes.
Once a week,
Good.
yeah. I mean, I did drive to Nashville, visit the parents a few weeks ago for a football game, so that was good.
Oh, speaking of which,
First
happy
time I'd
birthday,
been there in what?
Happy birthday, Zach.
I don't. What's
That's
that?
right. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Zach. Yay.
It was a good birthday. I grilled steak. It was nice.
And drank beer.
And drink
What?
beer.
What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, after I had just replenished my supply, which would make people cry if they looked at it, then a friend of mine got me more. So yeah, I was doing well.
Are you down to like one fridge worth?
Let's see. So I have a fridge downstairs. I have the fridge here. I have the closet. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Start a beer closet. I mean, who wouldn't?
A beer closet. I love that.
Bud Light talks.
I'm afraid I might run out. I actually did take a Bud Light home from my parents because they bought beer. My parents had a 50th anniversary and 70th birthday party because they got married when they were 20, and they had because Budweiser sells for each NFL team, so they had Tennessee Titans, Budweiser, Bud Light. So I was going to bring one. I brought one home, and I'm like, maybe I could do a video where I drink a Bud Light, and then when I'm done with it, and I'm like, why would I drink a Bud Light? I could do the what is that? The Scrooged, where he pours the drink, and he doesn't actually put it in his mouth. I could do that. I could fake, that I'm actually drinking it, and it's pouring on the ground.
Actually, do you know what Budweiser is really good for? Beer battering.
Well, that's good use.
Yeah, I mean, because why would you
Is
buy
it? Seriously?
Yeah, no, it's really, really good for beer battering.
Why?
I don't know what the chemistry is behind it, but it's one of the higher end, low end beers. It's consistent, but it makes for a really flaky crust. But that growing up, the only time growing up as a Christian, the only time that we ever went to the liquor store was when my dad would walk in and buy 1 can of Budweiser because my mom was going to make beer batter halibut. It just made this just really amazing. Yeah.
I love beer batter fish. I love beer batter fish.
So there you go. If you still have Bud Light left, Zach, try beer battering it. I don't know how
Where's
Bud
the
Light
light?
works. I know.
There must be something there. I can use it for something because was it the Old Rasputin Stout that Chris really likes? I got a 4-pack and I used it to. Allison made some beer with stout in it, or bread with stout in it, and that was
beer with
beer with stout in it. You know what I mean?
You've got beer to pawn off on an unwanted guest.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the
Next
thing. If
time
I have
Chris
a
is
beer
over.
and I'm like, then I'm like, all right, I'll just give it. What is it? The guy who had the cereal, he'll drink it. Even though he talks about how he only likes certain kinds, it's if you get free beer, you'll drink it. I know.
Or use it to tip delivery people. Just here's a free beer.
Have you wondered about how your goats are doing?
I do. We drove so we went to visit friends for over the weekend for their birthday. We did an in their driveway with a fire pit thing. One of their neighbors had a sheep, and they had sheep in their yard, but they also had a sheep. It was with their babies, and I'm like, man, what's up with these child labor laws letting these baby sheep do this work? And I'm like, well, why didn't we have baby goats? I mean, because they only had 10 sheep in the whole yard, and we had 50. And I'm like, oh, I miss Greedy. I named one Greedy because
I know, I miss Greedy too.
Exactly, don't we all? One of those weird years where I'm like, we didn't do that much. Wait a second, we had goats and we redid our kitchen, which is nuts. Yeah, that's a lot.
How is your yard doing?
Yard is starting to regrow, so
More goats.
More goats.
yeah, we'll see. They might, come back. Did you get a discount for the second time? I think we would. But now everybody's doing yard work, everybody's doing house work, so there's a lot of demand for that sort of thing. Not
Is it
anything else.
spring?
People are at home all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, I need to fix this. I need to fix this." And I mean, we did our entire kitchen, and people were like, "That's a small job." I'm like, "That's not a small for us. It's definitely not a small job. It was 2 months." But for people who redo entire houses, yeah, it's a small job.
It looks like a lovely kitchen, though.
It is nice.
It
I mean, we were
does.
able to finally show it to the in-laws. Came down and they actually rented a car because there were so many of them with the baby and grandmother and in-laws, and yeah, they had a good time. I think I sent the picture of me and and Erin. We read together for the first time. She would let me.
Yes, that was so cute.
She likes books.
Yay!
Alice is buying her a lot of books, and she grabs the book and like, "Hey, read this to me." Although she did after a page, she's like, "I'm done." She moved on. I got other people here. You're like my least favorite of them all, so there you go. And the cats were like, "Baby person? No, we don't like that so much." They're like,
No,
"We mean we
cats-
can't swat them? Okay, we're done. We're finished."
So
Exactly.
are your relatives that came to see you, are they
Quarantining?
quarantining? Yes. How are they?
Pretty much. I mean, well, the thing, yeah, my sister-in-law is a nurse, and so she's had the vaccine. She's gotten both of them. But other than that, I mean, my in-laws and my parents are both retired, so they don't really leave the house much anyway. And grandmother, she didn't get around too much either. So, yeah, it was like we probably open things up more for the parents and in-laws than we would for other people. So we haven't exactly, we're like, oh, it'd be cool to have people over because we have this cool new kitchen, but we really, other than kind of in passing, we haven't really showed it to people. So someday, and who knows how long,
on Facebook.
because of the way vaccines are going. We have so much video. We're like, people said, take as much video and record as possible. So we have like every single day, I think I took some kind of video of that process.
Oh, good.
So it was good.
You can link it all together and then speed it up and watch.
I prefer the end. Yeah, if you watch it all, it's like watching the Capitol thing. Just the same exact outfits and all.
With you in a moose hat.
So does anybody here have jokes? Uh-oh.
I kind of blew my wad with the Budweiser thing.
I have nothing. I have soul filled with sadness and despair. I have no jokes.
But weren't you on a podcast recently? Didn't you co-host?
I wasn't.
How was that experience?
Yes. It was actually good.
It was really good.
I mean, it was good. It was good experience. It was important. I needed to remind myself to occasionally shut the hell up because I'm not very good at that. But I think I got better as the podcast went on. And she invited me back this Friday, so I'll be on this Friday too. So it's kind of nice. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Are you still on in the
really
afternoon, or is this an evening thing?
I'm sorry?
In the afternoon, same time, or evening?
This is going to be at 6:30 at night. It's
Okay.
going to be 6:30 in the evening.
Ooh, it sounds like happy hour. Happy
Yes,
hour.
it is. It is free in Florida, or you can also find it under Atheist Community of Polk County. And it the episode that I was on 2 weeks ago was about the upcoming legislative session in the state of Florida. And this Friday is going to be about a lot of odds and ends, I think. I think it'll be fun. Hopefully I'll learn more to shut up. I'm working on that, people.
I bet when it comes to the legislative session, you must have had some fun research there.
I did. I was acting as a co-host. So the person that we were interviewing is from the was from American Atheists, and she is the legislative director, and she's located in Tallahassee. So honestly, she's very up on all the legislative stuff, and I didn't need any real serious legal chops. I don't think. I mean, I just needed to be prepared, but I don't think I needed anything extraordinary. That's kind of nice.
Well, the chemistry was really nice too. Between
I thought so.
You, Sarah, and Devin. Like, you guys were like really fun once you kind of settled in and the sound quality got better.
We all have sort of a dark sense of humor, I think, so it works out well.
Well, it's about time somebody noticed your true skills.
Oh, right. Mad skills. They're mad skills. That's right. Yes.
Because we could do a law show where my last name is Law, and then you talk about the law, and that'd be perfect.
I will mention on Friday that I was on your show.
Oh, nice.
Why not?
All right. So any parting thoughts before we call it a night?
I really liked Amanda Gorman. Poetry.
Oh yeah, she's actually. I think they are going to have her do something at the Super Bowl. I'm like, yes, she's going to be doing a lot of things. I think she already said whatever she's like old enough to be president. I'm like, vote for her. She was great.
She's amazing. She really is amazing. She is.
So that's my parting thought. Her poetry was awesome. She's very composed, very smart, very self-aware, very no bullshit. And yeah, I heard her on NPR before Inauguration Day, and was looking forward to her reading. So very pleased.
She was just fabulous. She really was. It was just. I really enjoyed watching the inauguration. There was a lot of religious stuff, I grant you. And this is the weird part, is that I was raised Catholic, so like seeing the clerical collars and stuff, it didn't like throw me at all. I'm like, regular day. I know how to. I know the call and I know how this all works. You know, it was kind of strange to look at that and still, but I don't do that anymore. It was a weird feeling. It was a weird feeling. But we voted for we voted for president, a man who is a Catholic, and we voted in a pastor from Georgia.
Well, we also voted in a couple of grown-ups, so there's that. I'll take it all day long.
No, and we voted in lots of grown-ups. We definitely did. I'm just saying that when people say that we have no tolerance, that isn't true. I think that you know.
Well, I heard somebody say something along the lines of, yes, there is separation of church and state on paper. So in theory, in law, you can take religion out of politics, but you can't take religion out of politics. Like you can't make them not do that. And it was on an NPR show where they were talking to somebody from the Catholic Church who was talking about the divide between the Catholic groups within the United States and the Catholic groups within the United States in terms of the whole of the Catholic Church. So it was very interesting that was his observation. You really you can't make religion not be political.
Yeah, I have lots of Catholic members of my family, and there's the liberal side that are like the pro-worker side, where you're like, okay, I can kind of agree, and then there's the we love Trump side, and you're like, ooh. So yeah, people were assuming like, oh, since he's Catholic, Joe Biden's going to be anti-abortion.
Well,
Joe Biden's like, nope. And by the way, Catholic Church, when Roe v. Wade passed, they were like, cool.
And that's
now,
the weird. And that's the strange thing is that if you were to look at people of religion that said, hey, our mission is to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, shelter those who have no place to live, care for the widow and the orphan. And I'm like, hey, we're right on board. We can, we at that point we are like, there's 90% of agreement, and that's the part that I get where we get into inner fighting. Is it's like I try to keep my eyes on what do we agree on, what do we agree on so that we can accomplish something that I think is good and that you think is good, and therefore we do the good thing.
Pants the pantsless. Wait, no.
Crotch laws.
Crotch laws.
Yep, it's all about the crotch laws.
Deborah, you made it through even though you had a little bit of disconnection issues. I thought I would because my internet.
I did. I don't know why, but we did. But
and Jeannie stayed strong.
I'm not dead, and I'm clearly not dead.
Polish water.
I'm not good. There won't be any Marcos tomorrow, so someone needs to check up and make sure I didn't expire. That'd be good.
You should do that. Well, thank you for being on again. It was a lot of fun. We haven't chatted in a while, and I'll actually, have to find a guest for next week, or maybe sometime do a 5th anniversary spectacular gathering, which would just be kind of the same thing with maybe more beer. I don't know. We'll think about it.
I need bourbon and research to make this thing happen.
Bourbon and research.
Bourbon, yes, research. Yeah, just whatever. Hang out.
Bourbon soaked research. That'd be a good name for a podcast. Yeah, think about that.
Oh, I like that. Bourbon.
It might already be taken, actually.
Yeah, come and think of it.
I really like that, though. Bourbon and research. Ooh, I like that a lot.
Well, thank you, Jeannie and Deborah, for being on again. It was great.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Zach. I really appreciate that you asked me. I had a lot of fun.
I always enjoy hanging out. You take care, guys.
Letting you find your true star.
I want something fun, like vodka.
Vodka's too clean. It's for girls on diets and doctors getting drunk in hospital parking lots.
Live read, and hey, it's my show. I can do 2 if I want to. Sometimes I like interviews that have nothing or almost nothing to do with politics and religion. Dave Zirin does the Edge of Sports podcast, and if you want to look at sports from kind of a political view, he has a good show. This week he interviewed Bill Spaceman Lee, who was a baseball player with the Boston Red Sox and Montreal Expos, was a free thinker in baseball, not necessarily the non-religious humanist type, but just a guy who thought differently and made it through a long baseball career. You'll notice that some of my interviews ramble, and that the style sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but in this case, it is a delight. It's a nice, 30, 40 minutes of chat. I do want to mention, this came up in the episode, but you should check out the ContraPoints video on J.K. Rowling and transphobia, because it comes from an angle of a content creator who is a trans woman, and obviously the kind of rhetoric that J.K. Rowling is kind of putting a megaphone to is not helpful, but as someone who's also been piled on by anonymous and known people on Twitter, there's a bit of sympathy. It's a nuanced thing. I wouldn't say the sympathy is in, gosh, you're okay because you've gone through trauma yourself and people are attacking you on the internet. But it's also, hey, you know what? You probably still shouldn't be passing these terrible things about trans people, because most of it is totally made up. So please check that out, because it's a good episode, and it's nice to see content that somebody spent many, many hours, days working on, unlike me, who just records this over 2 minutes and thinks good enough. So if you want to support this show, be like Freethinker215, Alan Marks, Hugh-Man, Chris of the Postmodern Polymath Podcast, Larry Darrell and the other Darrell, and go to patreon.com/Zachrilege. Every once in a while I post cat videos. Normally you just get an extended version of the show with more of my thoughts. So follow me on Twitter, like the Zachrilege Cast page on Facebook, and send all mail to zachrilege.cast@gmail.com. I gotta find another guest. Oh boy. So, until next time, let's continue the conversation.